Before we begin, thank you for being here. Whether you've just discovered Gnostic CODEX or you've been quietly walking with these videos for a while. If these messages resonate with something deep inside you, it really helps the channel when you like this video, subscribe, and leave a comment sharing what it awakens in you. That's how this kind of content finds the souls it was meant to reach. Now, let's step into tonight's theme. You may have felt it for as long as you can remember. A sense that something is deeply wrong with this world. Not just that people can be cruel, or that politics are corrupt, or that religion often misses its own heart. Deeper than that. A sense that there is a flaw in the very structure of this reality. A mismatch between what your soul knows is possible and what this place keeps offering. You look around and think, this can't be the full story. There has to be something more, something higher, something truer than this. In the ancient Gnostic tradition, this tension has a name. It is the clash between Pleroma and Kenoma, the fullness and the emptiness, the true reality and its distorted echo. In this video, we're going to explore these two words in depth. What Pleroma really means, what Kenoma really is, how Gnostics use these terms to describe the very structure of existence, and why this old language might explain exactly why you've never felt at home here. Take a breath. Let's begin. 1. Two ancient words for two levels of reality. Both Pleroma and Kenoma are words from ancient Greek. They are not modern inventions, and they don't belong only to occult circles. Pleroma means fullness, plenitude, that which is completely filled. In some early Christian writings, even in the New Testament, you'll find the word used to describe the fullness of the divine. Kenoma comes from kenos, empty, void, lacking. It refers to a state of deficiency, of lack. Later, the Gnostics will take these simple words and use them like precision tools to describe two very different dimensions of being, one that is whole and one that is fundamentally incomplete. Before we even touch cosmology, just listen to how those words feel in your body. Fullness and emptiness. You already know the difference. You live it every day. The Gnostic move is to say, that difference is not just inside your feelings. It is written into the structure of the cosmos itself. 2. The Pleroma, the fullness of the divine. In Gnostic cosmology, the Pleroma is the fullness of the divine reality. It is not a happy cloud city in the sky. It's not a paradise invented to comfort frightened egos. Think of it like this. Before any matter, before any galaxy, before time, before this universe as you know it, there is the unknown, invisible source. The Pleroma is the living field of that source's own self-expression. Some Gnostic and proto-Gnostic texts speak of this in terms of Aeons, radiant emanations of the divine, mind, truth, life, grace, silence, wisdom, Sophia, and many more. They are not rival gods fighting each other. They are like facets of a single jewel, or notes in a single perfectly tuned chord. Each Aeon is a way the invisible reveals something of itself. This is the Pleroma, a vast, luminous order, beyond form as we know it, yet full of meaning, full of awareness, full of love and intelligence. Nothing in the Pleroma is cut off from its source. Nothing there suffers from the illusion of separation. Everything knows what it is, where it comes from, and who sustains it. That is fullness. Not fullness as a lot of things, but fullness as nothing missing. 3. The Kenoma, the realm of deficiency. Now we turn to the other word, Kenoma. If Pleroma is fullness, Kenoma is deficiency. It is the realm of lack, fragmentation, ignorance, separation. This is the level of reality where beings forget their origin. They feel themselves as isolated units. I am just this body. I am just this story. I am just this name, this role, this pain, this past. The Kenoma is the world of never enough, never safe, always missing something. Does that sound familiar? In many Gnostic myths, this realm of deficiency is not the original intention of the highest God. It is a consequence of a disturbance on the edge of the Pleroma. The story is told in different ways, but one very influential version goes like this. At the border of the Pleroma, an Aeon moves out of harmony. This movement creates a distortion, a kind of knot in the field of fullness. Out of this knot emerges a lower being who is powerful but ignorant of the Pleroma, the Demiurge. The Demiurge does not know the fullness. He does not know the source. He believes he is the only God. And so from his own limited, distorted consciousness, he crafts a universe. This universe. A universe of beauty, yes, but also of brutal indifference. A universe where predators must tear other beings apart to eat. Entire species vanish in silence. Children can suffer terribly for no reason. Power often rises and tenderness is crushed. The Gnostics looked at this and refused to call it the perfect work of the highest God. They said, "This is Kenoma. This is a realm built from deficiency, by a mind that does not know the fullness." 4. Sophia, the bridge between fullness and deficiency. Many of the more elaborate Gnostic systems tell this story through the figure of Sophia, divine wisdom. Very condensed. Sophia is an Aeon in the Pleroma, a pure expression of wisdom, part of the fullness. But at some point, moved by a profound desire to know the source more directly or to create on her own, she acts without her proper balance, without her counterpart. This unbalanced act creates a turbulence at the very edge of the Pleroma. From this turbulence, from this fall or overreach of wisdom, a distorted child emerges, the Demiurge. He is a product of the Pleroma, but not in harmony with it. He is like an echo that forgot the voice that produced it. He sees only himself, and in his blindness he begins to create. He shapes a cosmos, the Kenoma, not out of fullness, but out of lack, confusion, and insecurity. Sophia, seeing the consequences of her unbalanced movement, experiences sorrow. She watches as elements of the divine are trapped in the lower realm, unable to remember their home. Part of her own presence is drawn down into this level, into the structure of the cosmos, into the human soul. So now the situation looks like this. The Pleroma remains above, intact, whole. The Kenoma exists below, broken, incomplete. Sophia spans both, grieving for what has fallen and secretly calling it back. You don't need to take this as literal history. You can read it as mythic psychology. Wisdom reaches too far, gives birth to confusion, and then suffers with and for that confusion until it remembers the source again. 5. Pleroma versus Kenoma inside your own experience. If we leave these words up in some metaphysical sky, they are interesting, but they don't transform you. The power of Gnostic language is that it speaks to your inner landscape as much as to the structure of the cosmos. Inside you there is also Pleroma and Kenoma. Think about it. There are moments in your life, and even if rare, when you suddenly feel quietly complete, not chasing anything, not running from anything, not comparing yourself to anyone. You might be sitting in a room alone, or walking outside, or listening to a piece of music, and something in you relaxes into a deeper being. For a second, you are not dominated by your past, your anxiety, your roles, your failures, your goals. You simply are. That is a tiny taste of inner Pleroma. Not the full vision, not permanent, but a small opening to the part of you that is already whole. Then there are the other moments. You know them well. Moments when you feel profoundly wrong, fundamentally lacking, unlovable, always behind, always not enough. You look at yourself through the eyes of comparison and judgment, and it feels like there is a hole inside you that nothing can fill. That is the flavor of inner Kenoma. The Gnostic insight is, both of these are moving in you, because your soul is a fragment of the Pleroma living temporarily inside the Kenoma. Part of you remembers. Part of you is deeply entangled in forgetfulness. 6. Why this world feels wrong to a Gnostic soul. Now we can come back to the feeling we started with. Why does this world feel so fundamentally wrong to certain souls? From a Gnostic perspective, because your deepest layer belongs to the Pleroma, and you are living inside the Kenoma. You are a fragment of fullness placed inside a realm built on deficiency. No wonder. The values of this place feel backwards. The things people worship seem hollow, and the normal life script feels like a bad fit. You look at a world that says, you are what you own. You are what you achieve. You are your usefulness to the system, and something in you quietly refuses. You may go along on the outside, but inside, a voice whispers, no, that is not what I am. That is not the measure of my being. That voice is your Sophianic memory. It is the echo of the Pleroma inside the Kenoma. Is it any wonder you've always felt like a stranger here? 7. The danger, falling into hatred of existence. Once someone encounters these ideas, Pleroma, Kenoma, Demiurge, prison world, it's easy to slip into a dark place. The reasoning goes like, if this world is a mistake, if it's ruled by a false creator, then I hate it. I hate my life, my body, my existence. I just want to go back to the Pleroma and be done. This is understandable. Many people who are drawn to Gnosticism already carry deep wounds. They are tired. They are sensitive. They are exhausted from trying to fit into a sick system. But Gnostic insight, when digested properly, is not a permission slip for self-destruction. It is not an invitation to reject your humanity, despise your body, abandon empathy, or romanticize death. The point is not, this world is trash, so nothing matters. The point is closer to, this world is distorted, so I will stop worshiping it as ultimate. I will stop calling its sickness normal. I will stop sacrificing my soul to its idols. You're not asked to love the prison walls. You're asked to remember that you are more than the prison. That's a very different energy. 8. How to walk as Pleroma in Kenoma. So what does it look like to live as a fragment of the Pleroma inside the Kenoma? It does not mean becoming perfect or above all human struggle. It might look more like this. You remain acutely aware of the brokenness of this world. You don't sugarcoat it, and you don't pretend everything is fine. But you also refuse to let that brokenness turn your heart to stone. Because part of you remembers fullness. You value truth over convenient lies, value compassion over cruelty, value inner authenticity over performing for the Demiurge's systems. Even when no one is watching. You understand that in the Kenoma, kindness is revolutionary, clarity is subversive, genuine presence is an act of resistance. You may still have a job, a family, responsibilities, a very normal-looking life on the outside. Inside, you are living from a different center. You carry the memory of the Pleroma like a hidden flame, and you refuse to let the winds of this world blow it out. 9. Pleroma is not far away. One of the most subtle illusions is the sense that the Pleroma is impossibly far away. Up there, out there, maybe after death, maybe in another dimension, but certainly not here. From a Gnostic perspective, the Pleroma is not far in the way a distant star is far. It is far to the mind that is completely identified with the Kenoma. But to the deepest layer of you, the fullness has never actually left. It is like the ocean and the wave. The wave feels separate, vulnerable, temporary, always changing. The ocean is still what it is. Your personality, your story, your wounds, your thoughts, these are the wave. The Pleroma in you is the silent depth from which the wave rises. When you sit quietly, when you turn inward without immediately reaching for distraction, there is a chance, however small at first, that you begin to feel that deeper level again, not as an idea, not as a concept, but as a subtle shift. More space inside, less tightness, a sense that there is more of me than this surface noise. That is not yet the full vision of the Pleroma, but it is the doorway. 10. Why this language still matters, you might ask. Why should I care about old words like Pleroma and Kenoma? Can't I just say higher self and ego and move on? You could, and for some people, that's enough. But the Gnostic vocabulary carries a very specific insight. It doesn't just say you have a higher self. It says the entire structure of this reality is not the final word. The God image that has been used to control and frighten you might be the Demiurge, a lower ignorant being, not the true source. Your alienation from this world is not automatically a pathology. It might be the natural reaction of a soul that remembers a higher order of being. In a time where many feel lost in vague spirituality or weaponized religion, these old words give sharp edges back to the conversation. They let you say, "No, I don't just feel weird. I feel caught between fullness and emptiness, and I'm not going to shame myself for that anymore." If something in all of this, Pleroma and Kenoma, fullness and deficiency, feels like it finally names what you've been sensing your entire life, you are not alone. There are many like you scattered through this world, souls that never quite fit, hearts that refused to call cruelty good, eyes that looked at the sky and felt somehow that they were remembering rather than imagining. To you, I want to say this. Your discomfort is not your enemy. Your alienation is not a failure. They may be the signs that your core did not originate in this realm of deficiency. You are not here to worship the Kenoma. You are here to remember the Pleroma even while you walk through it. If this spoke to you, remember to like the video, subscribe to Gnostic CODEX, and share in the comments. Have you felt this tension between an inner sense of fullness and an outer world of emptiness? And whatever this reality tries to make you believe, hold this close. You were not born from the emptiness. You came here from the fullness that no prison can erase.